Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management, and in this very series of our lectures on marketing management we have been talking about retailing as one of the significant segment of marketing as on date. And in that series of our discussion on retailing, this is going to be part 7 of our discussion on the topic called retailing. And in this retailing we have been talking about the kind of environment in which retailers have to interact, they have to operate, they have to actually accept all those challenges which all marketers are accepting in routine. And therein we have been talking about different marketing decisions, starting from the product assortment to deciding the procurement, pricing, other services, store atmosphere, store activities, and different kind of experiences wherein we have been talking about experiential marketing. And in that series there are certain aspects of that which are left, and now we will be completing that, and then we will move towards the private level brands. So the kind of communication which marketers or retailers nowadays they are using, they are actually resorting to a wide range of communication tools to generate not only the traffic but also converting that traffic into the buyers. So which means we want not only the visitors but also the buyers who are actually acting upon their decision, who are actually converting their visit into that of a purchaser, and they are not going without buying anything. So they are placing ads, they are running special sales issues, money saving coupons, they are sending email promotional emails, they are running frequent shopper reward programs, and many such activities. My dear learners, I would like to reiterate here that marketers nowadays they are trying to be present at every point of every point where the purchase can be possible, and they are converting that place into a point of purchase. So wherever customers are, marketers are supposed to be present by default, because unless your presence is there, you can't motivate your customers, you can't motivate your potential customers to act upon your expectations, which means that you just want them to buy certain products, and for that you need to make yourself available. You will have to communicate what exactly you have for them in your kitty in terms of a product or in terms of a service, or whatever new you have added, that need to be communicated. Whatever services, whatever freebies, discounts and offers you are offering, that need to be communicated to all the customers. And that is why they are talking about providing details about the coupons on shelves or at checkout points, or trying to convert every point to be a point of purchase for the customers. And for that we need to communicate. So they are working with manufacturers also to design the point of sale material that reflect both their images in terms of the manufacturers as well as the marketers. So they are not only telling you about the product, but they are also timing the arrival of their emails and design them in such a way that your attention is being caught. So those attention grabbing subject lines or animation and personalized messages and advices, they are actually some of the significant parts of this communication program, because it's all about communication. Unless customers are aware of what exactly you have for them, nobody is going to bother about how quality product you have, the kind of services you are offering. But you have to communicate, because unless there is an information among the customers, how would they know that you are also a service provider who are offering the services at such a competitive price, or at such a reasonable price, ensuring the best of quality, that too at a reasonable price. So for that we need to communicate, and that is why for retailers also the communication is one of the significant or important keys here to communicate. Now the last among these marketing decision comes to be the location. So location also plays a very significant role, because that need to be as per the convenience of the customers. Customers must find your place to be convenient place to visit. So there are three keys to retail success, and they are often said to be the location, location and location. So it is just like there is a, you must be reminded of a very popular line of a Hindi of an Indian Hindi movie, wherein wherein the actor or actress used to speak that the movie is going to run only because of three things, and that is entertainment, entertainment and entertainment. So likewise here also this location is going to be a key factor for us. So location is something which is very important for all the tailors regardless of the region in which they are operating. The location plays a very vital role, very significant role. So whether you talk about departmental store chains, or you talk about oil companies, or you talk about fast food franchisers, they do exercise a great care in selecting regions of the country in which to open outlets, where to open outlets, and then after deciding the regional location, they have to decide that within that region what would be that particular city, and after once we have decided the city, at at what part, in which part of that city, what should be the exact location, exact site of your store, that also is being decided. So it's a very planned kind of exercise, wherein you not only decide the region in which you are going to operate, but also a city, and then specifically speaking a particular site. So retailers, they can place their stores in different ways, but we actually classify them in certain segments, and it can be a central business district, wherein the oldest and the most heavily trafficked city areas, often known as downtown in most of the cases. So there also you have your own business center, you have your own store over there, because you are basically willing to attract people who are actually concentrated in that particular area. So you are willing to have the benefit of that density of people who are there. Then comes the role of regional shopping centers. So large suburban malls containing 40 to 200 stores, typically they are featuring one or two nationally known anchor stores, and because of that the other stores are also there. So these are called as regional shopping centers, wherein apart from other stores, there are some one or two, or say five nationally known anchor stores. Because of that there is a lot of concentration of customers, or you can say there is huge number of significant number of footfall in that particular area. Then comes community shopping centers. So smaller malls, as it is indicating that we are talking about the community shopping centers, which is confined to a specific community. So smaller malls with one anchor store and 20 to 40 smaller stores. That is the trait of this kind of location, where you are going to have your store in a community shopping center. And then comes shopping strips. So some of the marketers, they feel that as with regard to the type of product they are dealing, they need to have to follow that shopping strips culture, or shopping strip system, wherein a cluster of store, usually in one long building it is there, and it is serving a neighborhood's need of groceries. It can be laundry, it can be shoe repair, it can be dry cleaning. So you can say that these shopping strips are basically the bunch of shops which are offering the routine requirement or the routine services to you, ranging from the grocery purchase to fruits and vegetables, then hardware, laundry, shoe repair and dry cleaning. Like these small activities, small services are being provided. That is why we call them shopping strips, because on those strips you can simply walk through and get all the services done, or get all your requirements fulfilled. Then comes where you are finding a location within a larger store, that you are not having a specific store for yourself, because of course when you are deciding your location, the cost of that area which you are going to acquire, that also matters a lot, because that cost is supposed to be added to your operational cost. So smaller concession spaces taken by the well known retailers or can also be found by you in different areas, in different malls, in different stores also. And this kind of locational advantage is always being taken by popular stores like McD, Starbucks, we have Dunkin Donuts, because they are trying to have their own space within a larger stores. And normally at the airports or schools, or store within a store, this is the right word for these kind of locations, where you are having a store within a store. So this is giving us the advantage of operating at a possible minimum cost with regard to location. So you are presenting yourself, your presence is being ensured at a very popular place, but that too at a possible minimum cost, because being present at by being present at those locations, you are able to attract the customers in huge numbers, and that too at a very possible minimum cost in terms of your locational cost. And then comes another format called standalone stores. So some retailers they are avoiding malls and shopping centers because they feel that we want to be a freestand kind of stores. So they are keeping they are actually having their own stores. They are avoiding malls and shopping centers just in favor of freestanding storefronts, so that they are not connected directly to other retail stores. So they don't want any competition over there. They just want that if customer is coming to our store, we are only there to provide our services or our products. For example, the Kohl's stores or Jack Penny, they are actually avoiding malls, and they are having their own standalone stores. This is another way of providing your products and services to the customers as per their convenience. Now the question comes, how are we going to formulate our strategy? So in view of the relationship between the high traffic and high rents, we have to understand there is a trade-off between the high traffic and high rents, because the place at where the traffic of customer is very high, the footfall is very high, of course the rental cost is going to be on a very higher side. Or even if you are willing to acquire those shops, the initial investment is on a very higher side. So retailers have to actually make a trade off between the two. So they must decide on the most advantageous locations for their outlets, wherein the traffic is also on a higher side, but at a possible minimum lower rentals. So this is what is the ideal strategy which marketers or retailers are trying to follow, but it rarely happens. They have to somehow find their own ways and means to ensure that how to minimize the cost, and this is the reason, my dear learners, we have these many options in terms of selecting locations. So these options have actually emanated from our requirement, as we all know that necessity is the mother of invention. So these different formats, like having shopping strips, having shops in shopping strips or community centers or standalone stores, they are actually the outcome of this trade-off by retailers between the high traffic and the higher rents. Why a person is willing to resort to a store-in-store location? The answer is very clear, because we are willing to minimize our own cost. Why MacD or some other popular giant is willing to have a small area at a place where the footfall of the customer is on a very higher side? The answer is very clear, the reason is very clear, because they are willing to minimize their cost so that they can offer the best quality products at possible minimum cost to their customers. So using traffic counts, surveys of shopping habits and analysis of competitive locations, these are being done by the marketers or retailers as on date when they are formulating their strategies, just in order to ensure that they are finding the best location at a possible minimum cost. That is what is their strategy. So these are the significant decisions which marketers or retailers of today have to take. And you must have understood by the way of our discussion on every decision which retailers are going to take, wherein I told you about the kind of changes we are witnessing in the market. Every day we are witnessing a new business format, a new way of offering the products and services to the customers. And what is the reason behind having these innovations is very simple. The reason is very clear, very simple, because marketers or retailers are trying to provide the best of their products and services at possible minimum cost. Now in that series of the new strategies adopted by the retailers, with the emergence of malls or I would say the hypermarkets or supermarkets or departmental stores, there is a new term, there is a strategy called the strategy of having their own private brands. Now retailers are also trying to have their own brands. Along with dealing, while dealing with the established brand or the popular national brands or global brands, marketers or retailers of today, they are also trying to infuse their own, private brands, which are known as private label brands. Now the question comes, why do they have private label brand? these private label brands, they are basically provided by the retailers as an option to the customers, that see, we do have this option available. And while establishing the private label brands, the USP or the unique selling proposition is offering the best quality or offering the most of the features at comparatively at a minimum cost or at a lower cost as compared to that of national brands. What they are charging, we are going to charge less than that, and trying to match the same benefits, or sometimes even better than that benefits we are offering or the features we are offering. So a private label brand, also called as a reseller, store, house or distributor brand, they are being called by different names. Some stores, they are calling it to be the in-house brand, some people call it to be a store brand, some of them they say that it is a reseller's brand, or some of the marketers, they are positioning themselves as a distributor's brand. But more or less the meaning of their existence indicates towards the same thing, that is called private label brands, which means the brand which is having a label of a private owner, or the brand which is having a local relevance as far as that store is concerned or that distributor is concerned. So it is a brand that retailers and wholesalers are developing, they are nurturing it, and they are trying to sell it to their customers. If you take example of the Shoppers Stop in India, they have their own in-house brand called Stop. So they are offering, in the apparel segment, they are offering that Stop also, along with the other competitive national brands which are being displayed in their outlet. So Benetton, the Body Shop, the Marks and Spencer, these are basically they are mostly own brand merchandise, and they are you feel that these are the national brands or global brands, but initially they started their journey with that of a private label brand. So Benetton, the Body Shop, Marks and Spencer, they are carrying mostly own brand merchandise. In grocery segment, if you look in Europe and Canada, you would find that store brands accounts for as much as 40% of the items which are being sold out, which are being displayed in those stores. So imagine the magnitude of or the spread and width of these private label brands with the emergence of the present day retailing, what you call as the mall culture. So with the emergence of that, the growth of private label brands have been increasing by leaps and bounds. If you take example of UK, that is called in Britain, roughly half of what Sainsbury and Tesco, the largest food chains, they are selling is a store level goods. So they are basically dealing in private label brands. So as I told you initially that there can be a different name for these private label brands. Some of them they are calling it to be store level goods, store level products. Some of them they are calling it to be the in-house brand, but basically their nature is that of private label brands. In Germany and Spain, they are also European markets with a high percentage of private label brands, and India is also catching the momentum with the introduction of private label brands day by day. So we are also having our own in-house brands which are catching up the market very rapidly. So for many manufacturers, retailers are both collaborators as well as competitors. So for them, they are also collaborators, but at the same time they may also pose some competition to them with the help of their own private label brands or their own brands. So if we look at the data which is being provided by the Private Label Manufacturers Association, imagine that their growth is so high, they are so popular that they have formed their own association. So according to that Private Label Manufacturers Association, the store brands now account for 1 of every 5 items sold in US supermarkets, drug chains and mass merchandises. So at least they are having 20 to 25% of market share in a country like US, which is talking about offering the best quality products. So in a study, there is a research which indicates or reflects that 7 of 10 shoppers, they believe the private label products they bought were as good as, if not better than, their national brand counterparts. So they could not find any inferiority into the products which they are buying when it comes to the purchase of private label brands. So virtually every household nowadays, they are purchasing private label brands from time to time according to their requirement and based on their experiences. And this is very these are very popular in terms of grocery items or FMCG products. You can find that in grocery and vegetables you would always find the significance of the local sourcing. So private labels are actually rapidly gaining ground in a way that has many manufacturers of of name brands running scared. They are finding them to be very competitive. So these recessions, they increase private label sales. We have been witnessing globally that recessions increases private label brands, and once some consumers, they switch to a private label, and if they are satisfied, of course they won't go back. So if they are somehow able to provide or able to match the same quality what national or global brands are providing, that too at a comparatively at a lower cost, then why a customer would leave, why a customer will go back? So my dear learners, we have to understand the very genesis of the emergence of this particular private label, this particular concept called private label brands. So they are there as an option to the customers, and that is why they are trying to be as competitive as they can be. They are trying to provide the best quality at a comparatively at a lower price. So what is the role of private label, that we need to understand. Why do intermediaries sponsor their own brands? This is a question which at times we have been floating as a case study question in our classroom discussions. So cause when retailers are supposed to provide the products of established national brands or global brands, what is the need of having these private label brands to be developed by them, owning a brand and then floating it, selling it? That also increases the burden of these retailers. So the question is, apart from their routine activities, once they are taking this as a challenge for owning the private label brands, so what is the reason behind this? Definitely the profit is there, some benefit is there, but apart from that, what is the role of private labels? Why do these intermediaries, they sponsor their own brands? So the first reason is these brands can be more profitable. As I told you that of course, since these brands are very profitable, that is why marketers or retailers might be resorting to that. And intermediaries, they may be able to use manufacturers with excess capacity. Suppose it is very easy for us to approach those manufacturers. Already you are in touch with the manufacturers as a retailer, so you can approach those manufacturers who are having their own excess capacity, who are producing more than what actually the market demands for. So you have to identify the manufacturers with excess capacity, and that will produce private label goods at low cost. Because for that you need not to advertise separately. That is also having the savings at several points of the different activities which manufacturers and marketers are performing. For instance, if I take example of research and development cost, that is going to be nil for you, because you are buying the excess capacity of what the established manufacturers they are selling. You are going to save in terms of your advertising cost, you can save in terms of sales promotion, you can save in terms of physical distribution. That cost is also going to be on a very lower side. So private labels can generate a higher profit margin as well, and if you pass on some part of that profit margin to the customers, what is the harm into that? Because you are having higher margin as compared to what you are getting from the established brands. So retailers nowadays, this is the only reason why retailers are developing their own exclusive store brands to differentiate themselves from that of their competitors. So, and we all know that many price sensitive consumers, they actually prefer the store brands in certain categories. They know that these in-store brands are also offering the same kind of quality. So what is the problem in using those brands, that too at a very competitive price? So these preferences, they give retailers increased bargaining power with marketers of national brand. So in this way they are posing competition in front of the established brands as well. Now the question comes at times, my dear learners, which you have been asking in the classroom, that do you think that private label brands or store brands and the generic brands, are they the same? Can we use the term generic for them? Answer is no. Generic is different from what private label brand is. So we should and we must distinguish private label or store brands from generics. So generics are basically the unbranded, because in private label you are giving the label, you are giving the tag of your brand name, so it is not unbranded. wherein generics are unbranded and they are plainly packaged. They are less expensive versions of common products. In Indian scenario, you can find the emergence of generic medicines, that PM, the medicine scheme, wherein you are having the stores from where you can buy the Jan Aushadhi. We call it Jan Aushadhi, we call it the public medicine. So they offer standard or lower quality at a prices that may be as much as 20 to 40% lower than nationally advertised brands, and 10 to 20% lower than the retailer's price is being provided in case of private label brands. So you can say that after the established brands, there is a category of private label, and then at the lower pedestal we count these generics which are known as unbranded. So in this way, my dear learners, we had tried to understand the establishment of these private label brand strategy, which nowadays retailers are adopting to. There are different factors behind it, why they are successful, because they are offering the best quality or the same quality at comparatively at a lower price. So with this, my dear learners, we had a detailed discussion about the different marketing decisions taken by the retailers as on date. I hope you must have enjoyed this very segment of my lectures on retailing. Thank you so much.